Quite an experience for everybody. Before we just open it up to questions, I have some questions for the audience. First of all, how did this hit you in thinking about our world today? I mean, it was 1950 South Africa. It is now what, 2018? A very strange year in America. What? I know we all need a little time to sort of let it settle, but I just like to get some impressions of the themes and what sort of struck you. Anyone in the audience? Yeah, and we have a mic that sort of works. Let's try to use the mic. Yeah. What themes from this play resonate with you? I don't need to. What themes? What themes from the play resonated with you? You must just be utter. No, I'm good. Amazing job, you guys.
Have a seat. Willie?
It's on. Yeah, this one's working. Let me say, well, you did it. You did it now. First, I'd like to just say, man, that was like phenomenal. I never thought I'd see anything like that in prison. You know, I mean, I was caught up emotionally, and it was like phenomenal. You know, I don't even know the words. I thought about, well, I heard John Brown in the poem earlier. So I thought about John Brown, and this same thing resonated with that whole era. Like same thing with Frederick Douglass. He grew up as a servant. It was actually the master's wife who taught Frederick Douglass education. But then at some point, she like turned him away and outcasted him. So this play made me think about all the blacks in that era that were servants to whites, and also the relationship they had in trying to appeal to a better side, and even how the whites sensed the humanity of it, that it just wasn't right. As a boy, you know, he just knew it wasn't right. So just that whole time, I thought, man, there had to be a lot of stories similar to Frederick Douglass that we're unaware of. And when I seen this play, it brought to light, like, man, okay, here's somebody that's touching upon all these stories out there that are just unknown, but very powerful, and kind of shake the world to the way it is right now. And later on, I'd like to ask, how did you guys memorize all those lines for 2 hours? I need to ask that later.
This story is very autobiographical because Athol Fugard's name was Harold. His mother owned a tea room, and they had servants, black servants, and he spit on one of them once. And this play tells not the political story of apartheid, but the emotional, personal story of apartheid.
Congratulations. Thank you for a beautiful, first time ever seeing a play in prison. And thank God that it was the way that it was, because we all go through trials and tribulations. But you know, one of the ones that play brought me back to, believe it or not, I was in Vietnam in 1968. One of the worst parts of the war in Vietnam. But yes, I carried a gun, but I wasn't respected for who I was. The N-word was brought to me several times. It's caused me a lot of mental issues, and I thank God that He's brought me out of it. I recognize it because I never was raised up that way. You know, I was to love everyone, regardless of the situation, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of what's going on in your life. So I just thank God for seeing these men do what they just did. And I pray, by God's grace, that we will all become to love one another, regardless of the situation.
Come on up and use the mic.
to your mouth. Close to your mouth.
Excuse me. You guys just held me captive through that whole scene. And I was just so empowered by it. Anyhow, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to say y'all did a wonderful job. It took me a minute to catch it, but when I caught it, I remember the play when he said, I took you to the bar to see your father, and he was playing a part of Ben Green in the movie. And then when I was thinking about it, I called him and said, okay, that's the good plan. He took the little boy, bit him on the shoulder, carried him in the rain, back to the shop. I caught on to it. Lovely play. Y'all did an excellent job. It took me a minute, but I
I
caught
just want to
it.
thank you again. It's affected me in a way where like we in the environment such people are standoffish. And all the time they was going through these ups and downs through the play, he was steadily trying to reach out to him. I don't know your name, I'm sorry.
Luke.
Luke?
Yes, sir.
Joey.
Joey. Luke was constantly trying to reach out to Joey. You know, and showing him, displaying that love. So that he really can't say in that era. But it was prevalent, you know what I mean? And I appreciate it because sometimes I'm standoffish. And I just saw that from you guys right there. And that was eye-opening to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to hear that comment because one of the first notes that I gave when we talked about this play, and it's been my feeling about this play, is that this play is really a play about very deep love, but it is love that is under the pressure of this insane society. And if they were able to convey to you, the three of them, how much love went on between, of course, the two African men who had commiserated and lived together and worked together and played together and danced together. But also how Willie was not getting that love at home. And I'm joking, I'm sorry, Callie, yes, I have the names right, character. Callie was not getting this love at home. His mother was working crazy hours, keeping the family afloat, and you know, his father was drunk all the time. He was not getting attention. I kind of I wondered if the personal story may have resonated with some folks. I've heard a lot, and I'd like to hear some more.
What I felt in the play was a continued sense of loss of tyranny that people had. And it's continued in this culture, prison, where it's more exaggerated. And I saw in the workers the continued struggle for connecting, saying, hey, we all have work. That's what I saw.
Oh man, where do I start? My hat goes off to Julian. It was very brave to do this. Very brave. Very writing that. And I'm glad that the depiction of the feelings were there. They were raw. In our time now, they're very deep, they're hidden. We're not displaying these things. We're hiding them. We're still suffering from them, but we're hiding them. And I wrote a small piece that you're aware of. And I think it will resonate with what I'm feeling. Why would I be a psycho? Don't you know? Just beneath the surface of the cocoa. Who am I? And what's holding me back? My son is still alive, young, but he's black. And bringing this kind of stuff to the forefront of our thoughts can help to at least make us see each other as equal, as opposed to seeing us as subpar. Thank you again.
Joey, wonderful. Mr. Mouton, Mr. Padgett, guys, the interaction is really, really natural. You guys able to draw from your prison experience? Doing that?
Good question.
So, for me, it's being with these gentlemen a lot, because we do some of the same things around, and pulling from the experience of when I first came in, I saw a lot of things that I didn't like, because I wasn't raised in that environment where there was so much forced separation. And in prison, you know, we do it, you know, and personally for me, it doesn't help, you know. And I think that the way that we separate ourselves and fight amongst each other doesn't help. Yes, I pull from that because that's my way of getting into a character. Slowly, you know, tasting the words, learning about the character, and then all of a sudden it's there. So, but having these men and a great director and great support, it helps a lot. It helps even more. So, we're all friends, so you know the affection isn't active. You know, the affection's real, and it's just doing this is just such a great experience. I felt I've grown so much as a person since I've been introduced into the arts, and this is amazing. You know, thank all of you for coming out here in the heat, sitting out here in the heat. You know, it's a tall order. Thank everybody for coming in, and we have a great director, the best teachers in the world. Leslie, Lynn, Alejandra, Jane, everybody is our whole group. So.
I also want to say thank you for the support, and this has been a great experience for me. Today was, I ain't gonna lie, it was terrifying as hell. And this is the first time I was ever really to do something this long. It's only my second play that I've been in.
Good job.
So,
Good job.
I even had a lot of support from people in my building helping me out and stuff. So, man, I'm glad I got them by my side and have support from them. And I just can't wait for the next one, man. And I appreciate y'all, and I do, man. This is a great experience for me. Thank y'all, man.
Kudos to you gentlemen. I don't know you, I don't know you, but I know Joey, and the work you guys put in, I thank you for it. It was man, I just can't even fathom how you can remember that, especially with other things that go on around here in this prison system and activities that you involve yourselves in. But what resonated with me was in the play, it's a background of slavery, segregation, and all these themes into which we have two black men being slaves, and then a white kid that is
basically lord over him, king, master, as he was calling him. How, and you got two black men showing empathy. And when you guys play these roles, how do you draw from that and relate that to your experience now? How can you learn empathy in those positions that you play? Because I've seen a lot of that, like you said, it elicited emotions. There's a lot of love that was there that was twisted. There was no foundation. A lot of chaos, mixed feelings, and how can you draw from that, being in that, playing that role, in other words, just playing that role and saying, I can identify with that then and now.
Anyone want to take a stab at that?
I can say for me, personally, I've always been empathetic and always been sincere to people. It's just in my nature. I'm a kind person, and I like dealing with people regardless of what color they are or whatever. I get along with everybody, and everybody that knows me knows that. I make it a point to step in and put myself on the forefront for that, because I am a very people person and I am pro-human. I love humanity. So for me, it's kind of easy when showing compassion to somebody else, because it's in my heart. It's who I am. So.
That was a very good question. And the word that, why it resonates with me, when you said chaos. And I believe that there's order in chaos, because so many people are tested during chaotic times. And during those chaotic times, you really find out what your morals are and your code of ethics are. You find out what your yeses are and what your nos are. And then you find out that, you can make it through anything. And then you start finding out that you're pretty much made out of love from chaos. And then once you start sitting back and think about it a little bit more, you really start to love yourself. And then you start seeing yourself in other people. And then you go, wait a minute, after you talk to this person, no matter what ethnicity they are, you start going, they have the same challenges that I do. And then you start asking yourself, who lied to me? And why do they keep carrying on this lie that we need to be at each other's throats all the time, calling each other names, or degrading women, or degrading ourselves? I know who you are, because I've seen you out there playing sports. Yes, you. So, the chaos for me is now a moments of calm. It's where I find my true self, because I know that I'm not that monster or that bad person that they said I was, and I made myself into being so many years ago. And all that came out of chaos. And now I'm able to take my art, which I love, and be taught by some incredible people, be around some other incredible people, and do good things with it. So I guess I frame it as in the chaos is there, but what choices do I have to make it better for myself and other people around me? Great question.
First of all, I want to say congratulations to all of you. Greg, it was really entertaining. G-Room, St. George, Preserve Park. And the whole thing was really enlightening and stuff. Like part where Sam says, why didn't he go sit on the bench? Because it was a white bench. I was like, whoa. That was the part that really made me say, what the fuck is when the spit scene. Did you guys put a lot of rehearsal? Because that was like the most realist. I was like, whoa, you just spit in his face. So did you guys put a lot of work into that?
Yeah, how many times did you take
How
that?
many times?
How many times did you
I
take
told
that?
them in rehearsal they didn't really, but no, though,
That was the first time and only time I've ever spit in his face. Only time. We minded the rehearsal, and I saved it up for you guys.
There was a lot of spit today.
There's a lot.
I just want to say congratulations. And that was acting at its high peak. You know, you got actors out there, and you guys just set the bar for acting, especially in this setting, being in prison and taking on the road to be able to act and show us and paint a picture. After you paint a real picture for you, especially someone like me coming from, how you say it, predominantly white high school, which is traditional. And I had a lot of stuff kind of just going through my head and memories of certain situations. And I think about my situation being younger, and the situation for years beyond I was even thought of, and how they kind of coerce me to it. And I appreciate you guys giving me this.
So, thank you guys. I want to say thanks for having the courage to do this. Very electric piece. And I'd like to thank the crowd for being as mature as you guys were. Because as racially charged as this place is, this went off really well. And I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys as well.
Thanks, Justin.
I'm gonna finish off what I was trying to say in the beginning when I was speaking. That even after the spit scene, you didn't give up on it. You know, that just showed me a lot of love. You know, for all intended purposes, you were his father. And you was teaching him how to be a man. Even through what you guys was going through, he was injuring you. You were letting him know he was injuring himself by doing what he was doing. That's a lot of love in this place. Thank you.
A great lesson of this play that even when you suffer indignity, like Luke's character suffered, he kept on being a man and showing what it meant to be a strong man. Yeah, beautiful lesson.
You know, if you read history or story of the world, as far back as we've got history until yesterday, you're going to find one sad story after another of people splitting up into teams and hating the other team just because they are the other team. In America today, we use race as the excuse. But the reality is, we hate because people like to hate. As long as you guys can work together like this, there's hope. As long as you can get together and get what team you're on, stop comparing about teams, there's hope. I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Billy.
All right. So, emotional roller coaster, right? We had everything. We had humor, we had anger, we had compassion, the empathy that they talked about. We were the guys in the other room while you guys were rehearsing this, right? And so we never saw it. We didn't want to see it until we actually saw it up here, right? Because we wanted the full impact that everybody else got. And I give you guys a hats off to you. And the farce has our expectations. You knocked it out of the park. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Great
Thanks, Martin.
I was born in Africa.
Would you hold the mic too now? And then
I was born in Africa. And what I saw you did, sir, that was the highest of acting I ever saw in my life. And I noticed the resilience in you, sir, taking it. And that speaks to me from the point of view of the power dynamics between you, and you. And that's the same thing still goes on in South Africa in the reverse order. Sir, you're an excellent actor. Thank you.
Thank you, man. It was that was really special. It was probably the first time I seen anything like this. I've always read about it in the books all the time. South Africa. I'm a Bob Marley fan. And but then to actually see it in a little smaller setting like that, and that was really something that was really beautiful. You were like the footwork, man. You were like the foot soldier for Nelson Mandela. Those little small relationships was already building up like that. You know? It was going through my head. I was like, it was going through my head until we're no longer. Until the philosophy which hold one race superior and another inferior is finally discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war.
Yeah, man.
That's what I was this kind of came in something gave me a little glimpse of what I've been reading about. I ain't never really, I don't know the life, you know what I mean, but thought of Nelson Mandela, you know what I mean, that's actually what you were doing right there, this little small relationship that came to the end of the thank you.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we're going to need to leave. I'm so happy that so many of you want to stay and talk about this. I think, I hope you'll keep talking about this amongst yourselves. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you to our extraordinary actors and our extraordinary directors, and to everyone who helped with this production. Thank you to the institution for allowing me.
And to all the people of color and the brothers, thank you for not washing your stage with this spit in my face.
You three are going to be like way late with 12 so I just want to get like